fast tier 3, like many human mirror strategies or many human mirror games tend to go, and opted to go for knights because everyone knows that knights, with their fast movement speed and decent damage and high armor, really do a great deal of good against riflemen, a tier 1 unit. So yeah, kudos to Grubby for knowing how to play human mirror.
Research complete.
Okay, so next thing, talk about counters. Well, Todd has an army consisting of 2 heroes and 3 riflemen, which sucks. Like, I'm just gonna say, like, he's 10 minutes in the game, almost 11 minutes in the game, and he just has that. Like, come on, dude. I understand you're going for something better, but you're gonna be really screwed if Grubby decides to attack you. But let's look at his base, because Todd is definitely planning something. He is almost at tier 3 to match Grubby's tier 3, and he's putting up 2 Griffin Aviaries. Now, I'm not going to insult your guys' intelligence and tell you what unit Todd is going to want to produce at tier 3 to counter knights from a Griffin Aviary. And I think it's rather smart. It's pretty predictable because, with good scouting, and Grubby can obviously, or has obviously seen that Todd is not going casters, and so there's really no point in worrying about those. And yeah, the only thing he has to worry about are those stupid griffins. He's putting up a workshop. I don't know if, well, I know what it is. I'm not gonna tell you guys, but he's putting up a workshop to try and counter the griffins with gyrocopters. But I really don't think that's a great counter. I think he'd be better off putting up a Griffin Aviary and produce Dragonhawk Riders. For a few reasons, and I'll talk about that a little bit later. So, we have a little bit more, excursions. I think that Todd is heading over to that expansion spot. His Dark Range is really close to level 4, and he's trained a Paladin 3rd. Now, why Paladin 3rd, you might ask? Well, it's kind of random, but Paladin 3rd, how should I say this? Okay, very few heroes actually make good 3rd heroes, because it's going to be so late in the game that their usefulness is going to be very limited. For instance, it'd be very silly to go with a Demon Hunter 3rd, because level 1 mana burn, 13 minutes in the game really isn't going to do too much. 50 mana, against, let's say, the Panda with 315 mana. 50 mana versus the 330 mana of the Dark Ranger. It's really not going to do shit. Yet, as a first hero, he's awesome because you're going to level him up throughout the game, and, you get the idea. Now, you have to look and see, what heroes have level 1 skills that will impact the battle very, very, very heavily. And so, you're restricted to basically Crypt Lord for his Impale ability, the Dreadlord for his Sleep ability. You don't see many Liches tier 3. Yeah, of course there is with that Death Knight Naga Lich strategy, but whatever. So you get the idea. The Paladin's Holy Light is effective even at level 1, and he's still a great tank with high strength and a decent mana pool. So you can see with all those Mass Knights, even with the 2 Griffins launching magical hammers at them, the Staff of Sanctuary is being used very, very effectively, saving those weak knights, and the knight's damage per second, the knight's move speed is really owning up the battle, or was owning it up. He got a Panda kill, Grubby did, and now he's moving to try to harass those peasants. Now Grubby, it's nice to note that Grubby, is not playing his main race. If he was playing Orc against, Todd's Orc, the game would probably be in his favor right now. And that's pretty obvious. However, he is playing very, very smart. He's dividing up his army. He's not fighting battles that he is not going to win. And so I have nothing bad to say about Grubby and his playing as human. I've seen a few of Grubby's games where he plays human in free-for-all, which is always a fun thing to see when pro players play free-for-all. And he used human. He did what was it? I think he did tanks, gyros, or tanks and griffins, and what else? Man, Archmage, Panda, Paladin. You're using that Paladin third again. So I know I digressed from the game. I hope you guys are still watching because it is a very interesting game to view. Grubby produced gyrocopters to try to counter those griffins. However, griffins deal magic damage to gyrocopters. With their Stormhammer upgrade, it does a lot of splash damage, much like the Destroyer's Orb of Annihilation owns up the gyros, as well as the Paladin, as well as the Panda's Breath of Fire attack, which also deals an insane amount of damage to all those gyrocopters. One thing to note, and I hope you guys picked up on it, when Todd invaded, or when Todd pushed onto Grubby's base, there were multiple knights healing at the castle from using the effect of the Staff of Sanctuary. Now those knights are healing, regaining health, regenerating health, but they're still very, very vulnerable to attack. And so it is a great idea, especially with griffins and high attacking heroes, to just go up and finish off those knights. They don't gain that much health per second, and so it's really easy to get 2 or 3 easy knight kills, and that's exactly what Todd did. Another thing that's worthy of noting is that the Staff of Sanctuary effect is like devourable by the Destroyer, and I want to say it's dispellable, but I don't know, and that's not substantiated, but I am fairly confident that it is devourable. And so if you few undead players with Destroyers, go on and devour magic on those Staff of Sanctuary units. They won't regain health, and yeah, good stuff, good times. So now the game's pretty much over. You can see from the time bar, Todd has 7 griffins, and Grubby now has no possible counter because those 7 griffins deal way too much damage to any amount of gyrocopters to make them effective. Now, it would have been better, in my opinion, to have put up a griffin aviary and hopefully picked off 2 or 3 griffins throughout the game with aerial shackles. And then, instead of having 7 griffins, it would have been maybe 3 or 4 griffins. Much more manageable.
Job's done.
So, yeah, you can see that heroes are going down, and as are gyrocopters. As far as hero levels go, they're about even throughout, the ranks. But the Panda just owns this battle, and there you go. So the human native has vanquished the orc native in the human mirror match. Surprise, surprise. That's going to do it for me. Best of luck in your games, and until next time, peace out.